Oh, sweet mama Sue-Ann apple pie.
Motherfucking goddamn orange peel beef.
And it's not going to stop. And it's not going to stop. And it's not going to stop. All right, fuck that shit. Welcome to One Fucking Hour, everybody.
Yeah, dude. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
All right, everybody. Welcome to, I think it's episode 12 of One Fucking Hour. I'm Evan Husney. We got Tom Fitzgerald.
Happy holidays.
Respect the Tom. And to my right, Mr. Marcus Herring. Marcus, how's it going?
Oh, hey guys. This is going to be
I know.
gonna be painful.
Yeah,
We have 1 hour to fuck up 3 hours. Do the math, you know? And like, I always think there's that thing, like, what is it like? Man, you got 25 pounds of bullshit in a 1 pound sack. You know, it's that, you know, that, anyway, you know, that kind of folkism.
Let's start the clock. All right. This fucking hour is on Paul Thomas Anderson's movie that doesn't stop, Magnolia. All right. Start that clock. And here we go. Tom, I'm going to start with you.
Okay. All right.
When and where were you when you saw this movie? Paint the picture for us, please.
Yeah. So, okay. You know, 1997, me and my friends, we were really into Boogie Nights. It was like a lot of fun. And then I would meet people. Like I'd visit New York and I'd meet people at a bar and they're like, oh man. And we just riff on like lines from the movie and go, what's your favorite scene? So like Boogie Nights was like real big for us Gen X doofuses. And so there was a lot of excitement. It was like, oh, there's a new one, Magnolia. And we had no idea what it would be like. Like we thought there'd be parody in the sense of Boogie Nights, that it would be, I don't know, fun, wild, entertaining on a very basic
Entertaining.
level. You know? Yeah, right. I know. But I like Boogie Nights. And I still do. It's fun. I just watched it again. I have no problem with it. So anyway, so it's 1999. And I was having a great time, as many were, with films in 1999, because like I always say, 1999, it's a year when South Park had a movie and Kubrick had a movie. But then, right? It's crazy, you know?
Yeah.
But then also there's, and I'm not even saying I love all these movies, but just objectively, it was very fresh. New dirt was being dug up. Like there was a David O. Russell movie. There was Election, Alexander Payne. There was, I think, the first Sofia Coppola even, you know, Virgin Suicides. It just goes on and on. And then, of course, the big guys, being John Malkovich was a bit of a revelation, blew everybody's mind. And then, of course, American Beauty. I saw that like on the second day. People were giving a standing ovation, uproarious laughter. I couldn't hear dialogue. It was such
Fight
a
Club.
huge... And then Fight Club. I saw that in the theater, and I had a good time. Hey, Spy Who Shagged Me came out, you know? Blair Witch Project, you know? Phantom Menace. I saw that on a midnight opening night.
Wow,
So,
99.
I know, right? And I'm not even done. There's a lot more. So what I'm saying is, a Sixth Sense even, you know? But then what I'm saying is all the genres were kind of killing it, you know? And like, then there was new people and new earth and new voices and new excitement. So anyway, Magnolia, all of us were kind of excited about it. It was coming out like in the last days of the year. So it literally was going to be the last movie I saw of the year. And It was kind of like, well, that's so appropriate. Like, and here we go, rising to a crescendo. And then this fucking monster follow up to Boogie Nights. What we got, man, like a December 30th or something. And so I'm watching it, and I'll just cut to the chase. Like I had to take a piss, of course, in the middle. And so it's like, you know, 90 minutes is done, you know, the equivalent of a regular film. And I'm in the bathroom for a second, and I just look in the mirror and I go, I don't care about any of these characters at all. Yeah. And I'm not trying to be cruel or be a douche or like looking for trouble. No, at all. I was excited, but I was just so surprised, because I said, well, I'm going to go back up there, and I go, oh wow, when I go back up and see the movie, it's like oh, Jason Robards is not a character at all, and like Tom Cruise isn't really developing. They're sort of trying, and then it's like, and it's like, and then the prodigy kid is not really a character. He's just sort of like a stick figure of like prodigy child, with a bowl haircut, on and on. So I'm not going to start talking about the film, but I'm just saying that that's what happened. And then I went back up there. And it's brutal. It's another hour and a half. And then the frog thing was just like, whoop-de-doo, and it didn't thread the way it was implying, the way the film starts with that prologue. So it was very disappointing. And what's funny, I think, and just the last thing, I'll shut up, just to contextualize it the way I see it in 1999 in my life, is I think that what happened is the way Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion, they had their lunch eaten by Nevermind, Nirvana's Nevermind, because it was supposed to be like the biggest fucking rock album of all. Oh, wait, what? Who are these assholes? And I think that that's the case with American Beauty. It's like, this will be the film in 1990s. Magnolia. And it's like, and then it was like, what's this upstart movie that no one was talking about, American Beauty? And I'm being objective. I'm not saying I like it or don't like it, but man, that made like $400 million. It was a huge mainstream pop hit, and it cleaned up with critics and the Oscars. So that was what was supposed to happen to Magnolia, in my opinion. That's
nothing lasts forever.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, use your illusion. It's use your illusion time. And evidence of this really is in the look on Fiona Apple and Anderson's face when he does not get Best Original Screenplay, and it goes to Alan Ball. It's like, who's this Alan Ball asshole? Who's this Alan Ball asshole? Oh, that's my Oscar. So that's all. That's all I'm saying. 1999. It's all part of the fun though of 1999.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But what's not fun though is watching this movie. Let's talk about that. So,
right.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed on the rewatch, which was it took me 2 days to watch, is just that, honestly, to boil it down, and we'll get into how this came together and everything, but this movie has no sense of pacing whatsoever. It literally, and there's no arc, there's no real structure, and I really, last night or whenever I was texting you guys, I was equating it to watching a string out of 3 hours of deleted scenes from another movie or TV show.
Dude, you nailed it. That is exactly what it is, because they're dislocated, random. It's a string out. It's a fucking string out.
It's a string out.
To use an editing bay term. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a string out, but it's also, I would say a majority of the film is set to a frustratingly loud
score.
Ballet score.
Remember the score. Yeah.
Heavy-handed score where like if you needle drop the movie anywhere, like it really feels like
chun 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 chun.
Yeah, right. And it really feels like you should be tonally in the penultimate third act of a movie. Like this is ramping up to something.
Good point.
But it never ramps to anything.
But it's like 20 minutes in. Yeah.
That's how fucking Punch Drunk Love is too. It's like just
that's even more obnoxious.
Music is just like intense and obnoxious the entire
and literally loud in the mix. But also
it's too loud in the mix.
And guys, we know what the reasoning is. It's so simple. It's a classic Stitch job where.
Okay, everybody, we had a little bit of a technical issue last night. Our internet totally crashed out, so we paused the clock. Today is a new day, a little bit of a costume change, and we're going to pick up 1 fucking hour right where we left off. So let's get down to it. Tom, let's do it.
Yeah, I heard that it was something about falling frogs causing our internet to go down.
No.
What?
All right, back to the show.
Just very briefly on the music, we've observed that it's loud.
Very
and
loud, very loud. Yeah.
Monotonous and persistent. But my point is, I think it was a classic, very simple attempt to have that music bed underneath all these disparate characters and places and all that stuff to try to have the glue, because that can work. But in a portion of a film where you're having cross-cutting and a montage, you know what I mean? And like, but not for 3 hours. You can't just keep the glue there by just having this okay score. Droning on.
Just to kind of take a step back, obviously Boogie Nights was this really cool movie. that people responded to. It made his career, opened doors for him. And it was definitely, as we say on the show, blank check time for Paul Thomas Anderson, right? And it's really interesting because watching the behind the scenes, which is always a fun thing to do when we're talking about movies like this, the behind the scenes documentary has a line from Paul Thomas Anderson where he says, "That's a scary thing to give me to give a guy like me Final Cut," and and it's just like, man, this is like again that shining example of the hubris of an auteur with all that money and not listening to anybody to just make a movie like this where there's no checks or balances of any type. I
mean, there's a long and proud history of ridiculous follow-ups to critical and commercial darlings, like hits. I mean, you could go on and on. This could be an entire episode or something like that if we ever did a themed episode. But just one example. Taxi Driver broke really big. So then Scorsese does New York, New York. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but it's big. There's a lot of money thrown at it. Of course, The Godfathers 1 and 2 was followed by Apocalypse Now, which is the ultimate blank check, burning cash. I could do anything I fucking want. Yeah. And then they always followed up like Anderson's Punch Drunk Love is one from the heart, and so it's a pattern. It happens,
But yeah, so
Marcus, Deer Hunter, Heaven's Gate.
100%. Marcus, what was it like for you revisiting Old Magnolias the other night?
Yeah, I didn't watch it when it first came out. I think that was my wilderness years where I'm sort of like listening to Killed by Death records and watching exploitation movies or whatever. I was just sort of checked out from culture during those years. So the only thing I knew about it was that there was some rained frogs at the end. Mm-hmm. And my reaction was, I think I was that kid in Magnolia. The kid's like, this is something that happens. And I think I was that kid because I remember reading that in like Ranger Rick or News of the Weird or something like that. So when I heard that it was like, oh, and at the end it rains frogs, I was kind of like, oh, yeah. Right. So I don't know.
Like stranger than fiction folk tales,
Right. Now I see that so much of it is built around that, like doing some research into like what like PTA was trying to do with like looking at the Charles Fort books and stuff. Now I see so much of it, and they actually show excerpts from the books in the movie, and he's trying to do that kind of like the whole thing is kind of hung on that idea of like news of the weird and things that actually happen. But
you know what's ironic or funny?
I think that
it's
this
not.
Is none of that.
No, but it's not. And maybe we might as well just start from the beginning here.
Okay.
The first hour. And we could just throw it on in the background, Evan, I suppose, which is the opening, prologue.
Oh.
Whoa, okay.
A little surprise.
That's our dirty under things. No, we're not doing this.
All right,
sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, Christ. He just wants to sing again.
I do.
So, all right. So this was another huge thing that not only I was annoyed and confused and disappointed by, but the film starts, the film called Magnolia. And Ricky Jay has that great voice, the old magician, and
he's great, yeah,
he's awesome. So his voice is there. So anyway, the film starts, and I get very excited. Not even really the concept of like, oh my God, their three names are like Boot Hill Jones or whatever,
that meaningless coincidence.
The three robbers,
Green,
I know, and also
Hill.
Yeah. Also, their names could be arranged in three different ways.
Different ways.
Right. But it's like completely meaningless. Like,
no, but it could be Hillberry Green,
and it means nothing.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, and their names are the roots of like what a stupid place would be called, like a location. Like Berry Hill. Someone's name is Barry, and it's the same kind of etymology of. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. It's not It's not like where did that come from? Hill. Anyway, so it starts, and but I'm excited. So anyway, I'm not really caring about the Charles Fort thing. I'm rambling here, but like, what interested me though was that it was very playful. I'll be honest. This is when I had a Jones for the film, and I was being very kind and really grading on a curve because I was like, I was really excited about this film, and I really liked Boogie Nights. So I was like, hey, this is a really different kind of film. I liked that it was a huge budget, but it had these small weird places like a shitty casino with Patton Oswalt, but it's obviously a big film with big camera movement and everything.
Yeah.
And it had dynamic editing, and it was not normal. It was almost like not French New Wave, but kind of deconstructed in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? It's an atypical kind of film opening. Blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, and then I keep in the back of my mind, okay, there's going to be a major payoff where the entire film, becomes like this big, completed object, a la one of these tiny micro stories in the beginning. Like the whole film is going to wind up being like the large version of one of these small things. Otherwise, why bring all that up in the beginning of the film?
Well,
so I guess I'm blabbing, but I'm just you guys can take over. It's like it didn't manifest because the frogs falling is one of those Charles Fort kind of stranger than fiction. That event, the frogs, but it does happen naturally, by the way, so it's not that weird.
Right.
It does happen, But
that's what I'm saying, yeah.
No, but what I'm saying more is like as they were falling at the end, cutting in our minds to the end of the film, because this is the beginning of the film, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Like when a frog falls, when does that have a significance that has this causational thing, where it's like, there's one kind of the cop decides not to arrest William H. Macy, and William H. Macy gets his teeth knocked out, because he was going to have dental surgery, but instead he loses his teeth. But it's because the frog falls on Macy's face when he's climbing up the thing. What? And then the other one is like one of the dying old men, who's the child molester. It's like he's about to shoot himself in the head, and then a frog falls on his head through a sunroof, and I still actually don't quite understand what's going on. I thought, when I first saw it, because I was so confused by all this crap, and I was looking for the synchronicity, I thought it was, he would have killed himself that moment, but a frog saved him from killing himself because he was knocked out but alive with the frog falling on his head and knocking the gun out of his hand. Let's stay on that for a second. What happened? Because I've heard that he dies.
I thought the frog saved the child molester. Yeah, that's what I thought was happening there.
Does that really qualify, though, as one of these, like, can you believe it?
No, I mean, well, I want you to tap in, but I just wanted to say real quick, you're saying about the Charles Fort thing, it's like, it's in the beginning, it sets up like random person, and then this other random person, and then like this coincidence in life brings them together. And the way that Magnolia set up is like, that they're all tied together at the end, but they're all fucking tied together at the beginning too. It all revolves around this stupid
game
quiz show. Yeah, so it's like you got the host, the executive producer, the daughter of the host, the star of the show, the former star of the show, the
son of the producer.
Yeah, the daughter, the daughter who's dating that they're all fucking connected to it. So it's like they're already connected.
Guess what, guys? Guess what, guys? Newsflash. I'd cut the whole fucking first. I'd cut that whole scene in the beginning there, that cold open. I'd cut it the fuck out.
Re-editing?
Yeah.
I'm Evan's cut?
Yeah, Evan's cut. You cut that because it doesn't work. It just doesn't go.
It's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. If I'm in the note screening, cut it. I actually think, and I don't mean to be super harsh, I actually think that there is an okay movie in here. Okay? I do believe that. Maybe
I'm still debating that.
I know. I think there's a good 90-minute film in here, and you might
watch
actually
the William H. Macy movie.
Well, see,
that's what I'm saying too, more or less.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think there are storylines you'd have to cut out, but there's such passages of nothingness that's driven by that unending score, that punishing score. You know,
Which one?
You're really humping that score. He means the orchestral. Not the
ballet
score
is bad, but then the fucking Amy Mann music is just as deadly.
Hold on, I know.
Plenty of that, too.
But let me say.
That's another problem, though.
There is a solid hour and 15 minutes of that same, I don't know what to call it. It's not it's almost like a spy movie dramatic crescendo. I don't even know what to call it.
It's pretty generic quote-unquote
library
movie score.
Yeah.
Chung 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 chung.
Yeah. So my first cut is that cold open. Snip, gone, and but anyway, continue.
Can I do the next one?
Please.
Why don't we give this movie a haircut? Like, not through the whole thing, but because what I want to do is bring up, and maybe we could show I forgot what I called it, but it's the third scene in the movie after the prologue and the credit sequence. It's the
John
cop.
C. Reilly? Yeah.
Yeah, it's one with the cop. So here's my candidate for cutting. Yeah. So here's what I'm trying to say. We really don't have enough time for this one. It's clear. So okay, the appendix that could be taken out easily, as Evan's saying, it just goes. Then there's a credit sequence which is like 7 minutes, or more like a montage that opens with the credit. Yeah. And that's kind of fun too. I was enjoying that too. It's like you're getting introduced to everybody, and I was liking William H Macy like driving his car, when he parks it into like a glass window, and that was okay for me. And it had a lot of dynamics, although it was a little goofy, and it was clearly a Scorsese Casino like style, but applied to like people putting on sunglasses. It's like mundane shit, but
well, that's what I'm saying. It's like that's sorry to cut you off. It's really that's
because I want to harp
on that. I know it's just the idea of like appropriating the like Scorsese style, for no not to drive the story forward. Go on. Sorry.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, and also it's mundane. But if I can, I'm making a larger point. Now shut up. It's this scene that we're looking at. So here's what almost was amusing to me. First time and subsequently every time I watch it, it's like the prologue, and it sucks, but it's like, oh, it's mysterious. It's like, what is this? What's this film going to be? Is it going to be like this? Then I'm enjoying somewhat the Amy Mann covering the song One and the montage. It's okay. But then it's like, all right, now here we are. Everything's up, Magnolia. The movie is motherfucking starting. And then it just crashes, and it becomes this horrible, long, disassociating argument with a boring, stupid cop and this woman who's just screaming the entire time. And I don't care. And you know why I don't care? I don't really know who he is. We were sort of introduced to him. I don't know who she is. I don't know what the point of this is. Is this going to be a third of the film? Are we going to get a lot of this woman? And I'm so still lost. It's badly written, and it's rambling and monotonous.
It's never resolved, right?
Right. And so but here's the punchline. I always found this an incredibly weak way to start after you're like, being masturbatory and like kind of like jizzing off like, and Magnolia starting, with the montage and everything. And then I'm like, why are we stuck here? And then of course, the punchline, none of this matters. He cut this all. This is going to be a major chunk of the film, but he cut it so down. But he left like what is it? What is that kind? Like not vestiges. Oh fuck.
Vestigial organs? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like it's a vestigial organ of a whole plot thread that's gone, and it never comes back really. The only thing you get from this non-subplot thread is I'm gonna teach you about the worm, that rap, which is also goes nowhere, and then it completely disappears as if the movie forgot about it, and it never has.
The worm thing is like a
none of those people get hit with frogs. Right? Can I put it that way?
Right.
None of these people. Like what? Like that is just bad.
Right.
That's just,
it is just deleted stuff that's just gone. Right. Like there was like a whole worm like actor or something that got cut out. Like
yep. Yeah. That comedian from Mad TV was a character, and he was the worm, and he had like a Orlando Jones, and he had dialogue and everything, and like and the rapping teach about the worm kid, which we might as well cut to teach about the worm kid. He was going to meet up with the Prodigy kid at a cafe or something, and I know, yeah. This is great. Let's hear the rap for a second. Now, I think DMX wrote this. No, wait, Nas wrote this. No, Jay-Z wrote this. Oh, no, sorry. Fiona Apple wrote this rap. Yeah, sorry. Fucking the lyricist. Fucking lyricist lounge, like Fiona. That is a Fiona Apple rap.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
Apple rap.
I'm gonna teach
couldn't
you
get a kid that could rap either, right?
Wow, and by the way, just like the film, all the hilarious interrupting of Riley. He's like, oh, whoa, kid, none of that language, and it just makes the scene go longer, and it's not funny.
Oh,
when he's when he's acting like a stiff, like now, young man, I don't want you to use the F word, and it's like, oh, great, make this longer,
Yeah,
I'm rambling.
Like really dying to like prove himself, his rapping abilities to this cop, like
No, he's trying to teach him about the worm.
It really does feel like a deleted scene. I hate to say it. I said it. It feels like a deleted scene. Yeah.
But how different is it from everything else? Nothing. It's all deleted scenes.
I can't believe he cut out like just huge chunks of plot just so he could have Jason Robards laying in bed, like
I know.
Moaning,
Rumbling
like
to himself.
6 or 7
Can I
minutes.
say, you know what? I didn't even think that we'd bring this up, but that incredibly horrifying film killer moment where it's like they cut away to like, I don't know, the car accident or something like that. And it just has his voice, and it's obviously ad-libbed. I almost feel like it's like elder abuse, and like it feels like Jason Robards was ad-libbing. I'm sure he was. He's repeating himself. I feel like, did he just like record a man who maybe would not have remembered what he said an hour later? Like it feels. I don't know, man. It doesn't feel good.
When he's going like, you can use that regret.
You should use that, but regret. No, and I like. Hey, look, Jason Robards is the man, and I don't like how he's being treated. I don't appreciate it because like he's obviously just mic'd and he's rambling, but also it kills the film. Like it's literally the middle of the film, and it's just like
it's complete nonsensical, just like blather,
rambling. Yeah, it has no shape.
And the music's cranked up again, right?
It's so weird. Yeah, it's so weird that the movie, like the first 2 hours of the movie, are kind of like
holy shit,
like relentless passages of endings. It feels like it's ending 20 times in the first 2 hours, but then the last hour feels like what the middle should feel
wishing
like.
it was ending.
Well,
that's wishful thinking.
You said the word abusive, and I actually think this movie is semi-abusive because it's
Definitely.
like, we are like subjected to this. Just I don't know, man. It's so.
Well, what you're subjected to is one man's neurosis.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's such an uptight film, and it's such a clenched fist, and it has no grace and it has no wiggle. Like it's certainly not funny, and it doesn't have any playfulness. It's just it's weird. Every moment is managed and mannered, but at what end? At what point? You know what I mean?
It feels like he wrote it. He thinks that these characters are all interesting just because he wrote them. You know what I mean?
Well, I think he thinks they're interesting because he thinks they're interesting. You know what I mean? Like it's such a solipsistic exercise where it's like, and it's also like this too, because that's his father, Jason Robards, who's dying.
Right.
So it's so solipsistic because it's like, oh, you guys get it, like my dad, like I don't need to give you a character, he's my dad, and I'm like, no, I don't know any of this. I didn't live at your house. Like, what is going on? I didn't live like this. I didn't live rich. Reach out to us as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Well, right. Maybe I guess. Well, how do you think he was like meeting halfway or something? Because he's got good cinematography. He assembled a good cast. I guess he just kind of thought like those will be enough to carry it or something. I don't know.
No, he thinks this is all incredible. He's very proud of this screenplay.
I think for him, totally, he is very proud of it. He said so. The thing is, I think. And more on that later. But I sort of think like with Magnolia, he's commenting, at least when he was going into production on it, that he wanted to make a small film out of a big budget, right? But the interesting thing is that Boogie Nights is a smaller budget movie meant to look like a bigger film,
It's true,
and it really shows how, it's so interesting to compare the two movies because, there really is a driving force.
It's inverted.
It's inverted, yeah. And it is appropriating other styles, that's his thing, so he's taking the Scorsese momentum and he's really using it, all those montages.
Okay.
No, totally. I'm not condemning that. I'm just saying he's using it very effectively in Boogie Nights because it's pushing the story forward. It's creating exciting montages. It's creating fun scenes. I even sort of think
Casino. It's specifically Casino. Yeah.
Totally, it's very Casino.
If you watch them back to back, it's like it's. I think there's flashbulb macro shots, like the way flashbulbs pop and decay. Both films have them, and one came before the other.
But it's also like he's handling the material super well. Like I even think almost in like a post Judd Apatow world, like if you were to make that movie now, it would be ironic and it would be overblown and it would have bad SNL humor all over it. But Boogie Nights is
and like, messages.
Yeah, and messages.
It have tedious social progress messages.
So it's all working for him there. But with this movie, it's just there's nothing there. It's deleted material. Sorry to sound like a broken record. But
but it's that is the major theme. Well, I feel like maybe if you don't mind, like we flip the script a little bit and stay on the positive tip, because
Okay.
Well, you were just saying there's a good film maybe inside there if you just like wrench it out, you know.
Cut half of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that, but I'll say that there is a thread I like. Marcus said it too. I think a lot of people pick up on it, even when they don't like the film. I like William H. Macy in general. I like his character. It's okay. It's still an underwritten character. Still totally underrated.
I didn't love it, but go on.
Yeah. Well, but I'm going to be even more specific. So I don't think there's a good film in there. I don't think you can cut. You just would cut this down to like what I like, which is 4 minutes. You know, it's when he comes in. It's when he comes in, Macy, and that Supertramp song comes on, which is perfect for the way he looks, which is perfect for San Fernando Valley.
It would be playing in that bar, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks good. And I will say this is one of the other last heartbreakers for me. There are two things that I generally like and that I was hoping that we would get more of and more enrichment from. I like the child prodigy kid thing. I too, I read all those books too. Those were the most fun books you could read as a kid. I mean, this kid's obviously also really precocious and a prodigy in some form. So I like that kid character, but he's shallow and underdeveloped. But the other thing I like was the environment, because people don't really do the Valley, even still. And now he owns the Valley, which is kind of unfortunate. That's, the Valley's his Brooklyn, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I like that because the Valley is kind of weird. And I actually hang out there and I go out there. It's got its own special charm. So now he owns it. He does an okay job with it, creating the feel of the Valley.
Yeah.
He does it in Boogie Nights. He does a nice job. That donut shop scene with the robbery, it's very nice, weird. That whole scene where he gets beat up and he tries to pick up the guy.
Yeah.
That whole Depresso scene montage. Anyway, so I'm disappointed because he's doing the Valley, and it was supposed to be this was supposed to be the ultimate Valley film. It doesn't quite work out. But also, last thing, I'm going to shut up, is you don't see enough Rainy Day LA. And I really like that because we just had a huge one. We had a Magnolia Day here, and that's very special too. So I was really getting disappointed, because Macy walks in a rainy day, because it's the lighting. It's the lighting I'm talking about. It's like a dark exterior with this dark interior, and how the integration when he goes into that room. And Henry Gibson is fantastic in it as his, as his sparring partner.
His character's name is Thurston Howell.
It is?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
No, it's stupid. So, but so anyway, I'm going to officially shut up because we're running out of time so badly. But I like that, and all of that is clicking, and it's almost like a clock. A broken clock tells the right time twice a day.
Let me back you up on that because I like that moment too. It feels really good, and the Dolly pushes in, and Supertramp, and all the fucking music up to that point is so bad that when Supertramp kicks in, it's like a relief. It's like, oh wow. It's like, wow, now this movie's getting going. And that scene's pretty kind of got some humor to it. The guy with the braces does look, that is fun. The muscly guy with the braces. Brad.
Henry
Brad
Gibson's
is pretty funny.
I love Brad.
It's a funny moment. And then it's just like, whoop, it just disappears, and they go back to the bar, but it's not as much fun.
No, because you know what we have to cut to? And I think, Evan, it's time. Some of the bad acting. I think what you have to get to, you have to urgently leave that shitty bar in the Valley. You have to get to really bad hammy acting by a woman who was given nothing, no character development, and she's just flailing and hitting the automatic pilot. She's getting the automatic pilot of act histrionic and make faces. Hit it, man, hit it.
That's her shtick, right? Crazy lady.
No, I'm just talking about this film. I don't know all of her work that much. I think she is a better actress. Oh yeah. But this is someone who's lost, and an actor sometimes just goes, I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to make a lot of faces and say things weird.
Let's take a look.
Yep. What exactly went wrong? You need all this stuff. Motherfucker. What? Motherfucker.
Do you guys hear something?
Who the fuck do you think you are? I come in here. You don't
I'm hearing the soundtrack.
You don't know who I am, what my life is, and you have the balls, the decency to ask me a question about my life? Fuck you too! Don't you call me lady!
Don't you call me lady!
Here, I give these things to you.
I give these things to you.
You make your phone calls look suspicious. Ask
what
questions.
Is this?
I'm sick.
Sick?
I have sickness all around me, and you fucking ask me my life. What's wrong? I'm using death in your bed, in your house. Where's your fucking decency? And then
that fucking score. You're
the whole
so
movie.
right, Evan.
The whole fucking movie.
Here we go. Hold on, right here.
That's what's wrong
Suck my
with you.
dick.
You fucking call me lady.
Call me lady.
Shame on you.
Shame on you.
Shame on both of you!
By the way, this isn't even the worst of her stuff in this film.
Just trying to get her prescription refilled or something.
No, whatever. But like, actually, that's a good point, Marcus, because we were, helicopter dropped into this character's reality. Like, there is no backstory for her. There is no character development. She just comes in and is histrionic. Yeah. And I feel like I said earlier, my theory is that she didn't see a character on the page. She just lost. She's like, I guess I'll just I'm really wound up and having a nervous breakdown, like every moment, and with exaggerated delivery. So, but the last thing is, it's even worse than that. Like Evan's favorite is what now?
And I've sucked other men's cocks. But
sucked other men's cocks.
But wait.
No, and what I'm being cool because this is what I'm saying, and this is related to the music that you bring up, Evan. That moment of performance is reserved for a character that we've all been watching develop with some consistency for like an hour and 15 minutes.
I know.
But no, we're just dropped, and there's a hysterical person, and we're just staring blankly at her, like, okay. Like, and by the way, the whole premise is she was a gold digger and married the old man for his money, but then fell in love with him. But it feels like it's more like a guilt thing. And you know why? I have to guess because I'm given absolutely nothing. All I know is she was a gold digger who now doesn't want the money.
We're not given a lot in this entire film.
No, right, in general. Not. But so she's just floating there and she's generically emoting. And it's really cringe, guys.
Can I say? Oh, sorry, Marcus, you go, then I'll go because I have something on Julianne. Okay,
I was just gonna say on the subject of cocks. They say cocks way too much in this movie.
Very
like I bet they say them more than most pornos.
Well, Scorsese,
Yeah, I bet they say
you cocksucker.
I bet they say the word cocks in this movie more than they say it in Boogie Nights.
Right.
He loves it.
And like, just all the sex stuff is like, all the boomer sex stuff is so cringe for me.
Boomer?
I guess. There's just a lot of like weird, like normie sex stuff that freaks me out in this movie. And I think I don't know. Everyone's like cheating on each other. It's like, it's supposed to be like all deep and meaningful, but then everyone's just like fucking each other and it's all a bunch of normie sex. And I don't know. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I can't even remember.
He's talking about like Philip Baker Hall in the beginning where he's like,
stripping the secretary,
pumping. All right, let me just.
That's character development for him.
Okay, hang on. I got to get something in this show. Okay, Julianne. Let's put a bow on Julianne because she had a funny moment in the behind the scenes doc as well, where they were interviewing her about the cock, and they asked her about it, and she said that and I could sense some doubt with her too. I don't think she's given very much here. I'm not blaming her.
Yeah,
because she goes, and then guys, she's hot off of Psycho 98 as well.
I know one of the other great 1 fucking hour episodes.
Yeah, but she said, quote, "It's easier for me to underplay stuff and to pull it back. So it was a real challenge for me emotionally to play it so huge." Okay. So, and again, it's just like, what are we doing here with this character? And she doesn't even know. And I think she even had like an obligation where they had to bring her in real fast, shoot her stuff first because she had to go out for another film. We're dropped into her.
She's in every 90s movie. Yeah.
She's dropped.
No, but listen to Evan's point. It's just like she really just shows up at 6:30 a.m. and just goes, and goes, "What am I?" And it's like, "What am I doing?" And it's like, "You're having a nervous breakdown. Your gold digger's having nervous breakdown." And she's like, "Okay, I'll do that." "Oh, I fucked other men." And it's like if she did a half of that, it would seem less cartoonish.
Can I rewind?
And no one restrained her.
Yeah.
Side note. No one restrained that performance.
She's also in Shortcuts that this movie clearly wishes that it was.
Well,
right?
Okay, for 1 second on just because you brought up Shortcuts, again, this man PTA, he's a trope thief, and he's taken from Shortcuts, it's a good movie to borrow from, but Shortcuts, it's a natural slice of life movie.
Well,
observing,
Fly on the
fly on the
wall.
wall, to amazing moments of real character development and drama, everyday life, and there's nothing cosmic or connected about it, and he's interjecting all these things, and we're just here to sit and watch paint dry as he's delivering us nothing. But now to flip the script back to what I do like. Can we talk? Because I want to get mine in on the
Go
thing
for
that I
it.
like
Yeah,
in this
I'm
movie.
very curious.
And you guys are about to shit all over it, which is okay. I
More
do
Amy
think I do think one of the good choices in this movie, from a casting point of view, okay, I'm going to give him a little kudos here. I think it is a good usage of Tom Cruise. Okay, now I know what you're going to say about the
I
scene.
agree.
At the end, okay,
I agree.
but let's just put it in perspective. Okay, Eyes Wide Shut just came out. Very restrained performance, right? And legend has it that he wanted to meet Paul Thomas Anderson on the set of Eyes Wide Shut after he saw Boogie Nights. And he's like, write something for me, come up with something to me. I'm offering myself to you, young sir, you know? Okay. And this is also Tom Cruise timeline-wise, this is before couch jumping on Oprah, right? Where everyone really got to see the real Tom, because that's the real Tom, guys.
Yeah.
Newsflash. So I think it's a
Right.
I think it's a real good stroke of genius here, dare I say, on Mr. Paul Thomas Anderson to cast Tom in a movie that is Tom, you know, and taking a real fucking huge movie star, you know, a guy who's a ball of manic, egomaniacal energy, couch jumper motherfucker, and put him into this scene. And I do think that the drama unfolding between, if you were to drown out all the other shit in the movie and make it just about this character of him being interviewed by the journalist. I can't remember the actress's name, but she's great in the film.
Sweet baby something.
She is good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that whole trajectory is one of the stronger elements where I do think, conversely, the William H. Macy thing don't give me nothing. It only gives me Supertramp. It doesn't really give me anything else. I'm sorry.
There's nothing there.
I'm sorry.
No, there is nothing there. I'll agree with you. He has a crush on Brad.
That's one of the things I'd cut, actually. I'd cut that whole thread.
Oh, shit.
In my sorry.
And I understand.
Tom Cruise is good. He's good in it, and he's fun to watch. He carries all the parts well. He looks amazing in it. My only beef with him is he's supposed to be this pickup artist, but he's like the sexiest man on the planet. You know, he doesn't need all those like mind fuck techniques.
I know. Well, that's silly. Like he's physically very attractive.
Yeah,
he's
charming.
Most attractive. Yeah.
Well, but isn't that kind of the usual way? It's like like the way that works is like I am charismatic and I'm handsome and I'm going to show you guys who have no chance that it's possible that you too could, capture some of the magic.
Maybe. I looked up the guy he's based on. He's not as dreamy as Tom.
I know what you mean. Can I just say though,
usage of Tom, but go on. Tom.
It is, and I like, and guess what? He fills the screen really well with all those close-ups during the interview, and because he's a movie star, and you feel movie star power, which is actually very much, actually any cinematic power is wanting in this film. So it's very refreshing. But I will say this: I'm really sorry. This is often cited, best performance he's ever done, one of the great performances in American film history, whatever hyperbole. I'm sorry. He was Julianne Mooring it for me in the sense of scenery chewing and really to the point Oscar baiting. It's like when he's twitching and getting purely physical at the deathbed of Jason Robards. I just wasn't buying it, and he still was too. And also, he was still too underdeveloped for me, Cruise. And again, the most important thing really is the center patriarch is such a void. I don't know or care. I guess he cheated on his wife. That's all we're given.
I think that every other vignette in the movie, whereas Shortcuts, it adds up to a great crescendo, and all the storylines, because they are connected, support each other. I think every chapter in Magnolia takes away from the other chapter. Is what's really happening. It really does.
It's subtractive.
Because if you put all of the Tom Cruise together, I think it would work. Maybe if it's a short film, or something.
Better.
But let's look at,
everything's sabotaging each other.
Yeah. Right.
But I still exactly. But I still maintain that I need to have some idea of Jason Robards because he might as well have a mannequin in the bed.
I agree.
I agree. So it's what I mean. Like it's such a nothing burger about there. Like I don't have any emotional investment. Unlike
There's plenty of it too.
Yeah. Anyway,
Let's watch
but
it.
like, yeah, go. It just looks like a ham sandwich. It makes me want to seek out really, truly great acting performances. Like, I'm sorry.
It looks like he's panting like a dog. Yeah.
It looks silly, and he's tapping his foot down.
Yeah.
It looks to me like, you know what I do? I think De Niro in Godfather 2, and how understated he is.
This is rough.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know.
This is not great acting.
I think even when he's up on the stage, it's like he's overdoing how cringy.
Sweet mama.
Yeah, it's like nobody would like. It's like he's not charismatic. He's just gross. You know?
Well,
There's
I'm
no
saying
director
that's-
restraint.
it's Tom,
Also, I
guys.
don't like
Sorry.
that this guy. I don't like this guy emotionally, an emotional voyeur. Philip Baker Hall. I mean, no, not Philip Baker Hall.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Fucking asshole, don't go away. You
I'm just not buying it.
asshole, don't go
And you know what? A better film would have cut away, because it's just you're belaboring the emotional note. You're going like this on the emotional piano.
Well, that's the whole movie, Tom.
It's like you use the entire take. You know,
No, the
Like-
whole movie.
Yes. No, Marcus said it. Just they played out everything till the reel ended. Good point. Like, because we all know this, and at least this much about film, is it can be so much stronger if you get out a little earlier than might be expected, or you might want to. You know what I mean? That kind of classic filmmaking thing. It's like you get out, and it just takes your breath away a little bit. Like shit.
It's showbiz. Yeah.
And you know what?
But this one just dies. It just drags on.
and well, it does. And grandiosity
Showbiz,
is like grandiosity is not achieved by longer, and monotonous and pounding. You don't. And this movie is just all of it. All those
More.
scenes are too long, and it's trying to drive you along. It's trying to create the sense of grandiosity with the score and the runtime of these scenes, but it doesn't achieve it once.
The film is an emotional bully.
Yeah.
It's throwing you down in a bed. I'm not saying like rape. I'm saying he throws you down in a bed, and the film throws you down in the bed, holds down your shoulders, boy or girl, whatever, and just starts crying on top of your face. And it's like what? Like first, it doesn't meet you halfway. It doesn't care about how you feel. You know what I mean? It's such a closed system. It really is inside the neurosis of one individual, which can work maybe if the person is fascinating and talented and has craftsmanship in the sculpting of something and seeing, a final, it's basic stuff, seeing the final result in their mind and working towards that. But this guy has no tact.
It's so
tactical-
oblong and
tactician.
unbalanced. Like you said, this is the second. That was the second. Or there's two guys dying of cancer. Like
Two
you
dying
said.
old men, guys. Two dying old men.
dying of cancer.
Which
Both
one's your
I have
favorite?
two.
Which one's your favorite?
Oh,
I was thinking maybe it was like he had like one version of the story where there was a guy in bed dying.
I
that was working the
know.
show. Then he had another version where the guy was
Just
the
twin
host
them out.
and then he revised it.
Oh, I
edit
know.
one out, but
You're so right. Well, I'll take actually Philip Baker Hall, who I really like, and I met him, and he's a really cool guy. Like, he's good, and I liked him a lot, and I like him dealing with the prodigy kid during the quiz show. I like that stuff too. That could work that could be its own film, his story, and it's good when he has the wife from Jaws in his wife.
She's great, actually.
He's really
Underrated.
good.
She's
He's like,
underrated.
I'm
this
not
movie.
done with my questions. Yeah, that's pretty good stuff, and they're
She's good,
really great.
yeah.
And Hall's always really satisfying,
Oh, yeah.
and he sort of has something to work with. He's totally broken and he's guilt ridden. But Robards actually in comparison, that's why Robards is so egregious, because he's just absolute zero Robards character. But Hall has some meat on its bones,
Totally.
But that's a better
can we-
part of the film.
Do you guys want to talk about the other music? We've only talked about the score. Do we want to talk about
yeah.
Amy May?
A little, maybe.
Oh my god. Yeah, well, what is up with Amy? Like doing Amy Mann in like 1998? This seems like so uncool to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, remember that girl from the 80s that had this like one
Till Tuesday, yeah.
hit song?
You had a rat tail.
15 years later, like to pick up her music and use it. I don't know.
Well, we've chatted before about this very briefly. It was part of a larger LA scene of musical hepcats.
Right.
And there was a lot of cabaret and and country rock and all that stuff. And it was John Bryan, who's worked on the score and many other scores. And he's had better days. I kind of like his Endless Sunshine. What is it called? And what is it called? Eternal
Sunshine of the Spotless.
Yeah, I like his score there better. But so it's John Bryan is a big part of Largo, and then Amy Mann was often performing there too. And then you got Michael Penn, who's also involved and married to Amy, and he's also in Boogie Nights as the '80s rock, new wave record producer.
Yeah.
He's pretty good in that, actually. I like it. But it's born more or less from that scene. It's like cabaret rock, and Amy. This film boosted Amy, not the other way around at all. It's like Anderson picked her out of obscurity, and she's sort of a thing now. But I'm ambivalent. I don't care either way. But
there's one scene in particular.
PTA's rule of if we're playing music, let's fucking turn it up to 11. Really is cringe when the cop is coming to her apartment, the neurotic woman, who for some reason isn't a junkie but a cocaine addict, which is very Borat in the understanding of drug users and personality types. So she's a cokehead. Okay, sure. And so she's listening to music really loud, and she's listening to Fleetwood Mac. Nope. She's listening to Hole. No. No, she's listening to this awful Amy Mann song. This is the worst I'm going to get, everybody. And it's like cabaret, and every annoying instrument is like.
I'd call the cops. Yeah,
I know. Well said. It's like this digital sounding awful pastiche of Tom Waits, where it's like big loud trumpet, big loud percussion, big loud tack piano, and a really bad non-melody, as Marcus pointed out before. It's all these notes being sung in search of a melody, and it's so grating.
She's like doing walking bass line with her mouth, like
It's the worst song Tom's ever heard.
Nobody ever in the history of the world blasted that song.
Like, impossible. Do big fat rails at home and blast that song.
No, wouldn't happen.
You couldn't do it.
And for Paul Thomas Anderson. And for Paul Thomas Anderson, that is a big step down from blasting Sister Christian, in fucking Boogie Nights.
I mean, he killed it on the environmental music.
Sure.
Well, actually, more than that. I mean, that's Scorsese 101, of course.
Of course.
Even back to Mean Streets with using pop songs, and it all starts with Scorpio Rising, blah blah blah,
blah blah blah.
But sometimes Scorsese has used original scores, and it's been cool. But I don't have much more of an opinion. I just find that song to be fascinatingly bad.
That song is so bad, but also like I cringe. The cover of One makes me cringe.
I know, I hate that. And it's a great song. It's a Nielsen, man.
Yeah, no, great, lovely song, amazing song. But then just that like, kind of '90s cover of it, just like
Well, the production, it's weird they didn't go for that kind of like Mellotron, Beatles, like pastiche, like old vocal mics.
It's very 90s, very close on the microphone.
Incredibly 90s sounding. And by the way, let's get really catty. Let's do a tiny little side cattiness. I want to do this with Marcus. I'm speaking to you, bro. The title, the literal title when it drops of Magnolia is so ugly because it's using like a million different
filter.
It's using every composite filter.
I was noticing that. Like,
talk to me.
Yeah, it's like
using inverse and then like burn
opens up and they're doing like a multiply or something, and then like all this
multiply and inversion, right?
Yeah, then there's like a map or like photos kind of flickering, like single frame animation, and then it changes from being multiply to being like a subtract, a negative view,
right? It's multiply. Yes. No, but so it's then like Luma, and then also like RGB.
Every composite mode in After Effects.
We're done.
Okay, I gotta step in with the clock here because we're
done.
That was it. Wait, sorry. One more. Sorry, I just gotta say, nobody in the history, that song that we all sang at the beginning, nobody knew all the words to that song ever. Couldn't they have picked like a song that like, Imagine Me and You or something that people actually know the words to?
Okay, that's where I was going. That's actually where I was transitioning here because we are 8 minutes before we have to stop, and that song, that moment, holy shit, that's where the movie for me like fucking dies You know, like, okay, we're done here. And then Jason Robards.
Wise up. Wise up.
Yeah. Wise up. And then Jason Robards comes in as okay, now we're sensory deprived, you know, in this movie. But the thing is, with that, it's funny because I actually laughed when reading what Janet Maslin wrote about this moment, where she said, when the group singing arrives, the movie begins to self-destruct spectacularly.
Agreed.
It's astonishing to see a film begin this brilliantly. Okay, that's, you know, maybe for the time.
This debate.
Yeah, in the time, I'm sure maybe.
I was excited right when it started.
She's probably at Cannes and, you know, whatever.
Festival fever.
Festival fever. The Tom Cruise part is the festival fever part of the movie. Anyway, it's astonishing to see a film begin this brilliantly only to torpedo itself in the final hour, that is what it is, man. This movie murders all the other storylines in its last hour. And it's funny, talk about hindsight. Paul Thomas Anderson was asked, guys, a little research. He was asked on a Reddit AMA about Magnolia recently. And if you could go back and say, what would you say to yourself then about Magnolia? And this isn't good enough for me, this answer, but he said, chill the fuck out and cut 20 minutes.
20.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like,
an hour 20.
An hour 20. Yeah.
More like hour 20. There you go. Because that means you're just trimming, you're just getting a haircut, not a shaved head. Yeah. No, I know. Hair trimming.
I'm kind of glad it does do that wise up part. I mean, it's awful, but it would have the end would have nothing.
Well, the end's the frogs, bro.
Let's talk about the frogs.
We didn't talk about the frogs, bro.
Yeah, we got.
I actually have nothing to say. I felt that Frogs was anticlimactic because it just took too damn long. Meaning I was just over the film. I remember the first time I saw it in a theater. I was right in the center in a great seat. Was ready to have this orgy of filmmaking experience, like I was saying earlier. I was excited, and my excitement just kept deflating. By the end, I was just like, just do the frogs. I gotta go home.
You knew about the frogs too.
I heard about the frogs on Ain't It Cool News.
Oh my!
So it was impossible to see this movie without knowing about the frogs, right?
It got around. It's early internet bullshit like Ain't It Cool News. But no, so I don't really have much of an opinion because it's the two things. It took too long to get to. But then going full circle in our podcast here, it's it felt like someone's doing a magic trick that didn't work. He's like, and then the frogs, ta-da, you're welcome.
Yeah, there's no audience.
And it's
they're all sleeping.
Can I, or it's it's a mirror. It's looking in a mirror, dude.
Yeah.
It's psychological. No, but what I'm saying is, that's deep, bro. No, but the thing that kills me too, I'm gonna get really specific again, and catty, the gun. The entire time I've seen this film, I missed that he loses his gun, it falls in the rain, the cop, and his gun's out of his holster, But then the guy who's the worm, by the way, you see the worm very briefly running away with the gun. He picks it up and runs away. And so I caught that the first time ever was when I just had to rewatch it. So here's what I've been thinking the whole time. When the gun at the very end falls, all the frogs fall, and then ding, his gun with that really stupid, overbearing,
That's not it.
Musical note ding. No. What I'm saying is, I thought, this is my impression. You talk to me, guys. I thought the frogs and somehow the gun that fell out of his holster, all that, the frogs and the gun somehow went into the clouds. The way that weirdly happens sometimes. Objects get pulled up, like the frogs do, and then it fell. And it's great. I'm not embarrassed anymore. But no, someone takes it. So then what is the logic? It's the worm says, oh shit, I'm taking the gun. The cop dropped it accidentally. Then he's like, well, I'm just going to throw it out again into the field and it's still raining. And then the frog.
What must have forgot to cut out the guy, the worm.
I know. Tell me.
Did
you guys tell? Well, what are your thoughts?
Deleted worm.
What did you think it was?
I thought, I missed that. I got so confused in the rain, the gun thing. I think
it's a terrible scene.
It's just very student film. It's like a student film trying to be,
I ran it back. So
help me. What? Give me thoughts. Not the stupid symbolism of the gun falling, but just really the hard work of the reality of the situation. What happened? What did you think?
Because those frogs wouldn't have come from L.A. anyway, right?
I
I'm
know
gone.
exactly. They would have been
gone.
coming from like Colorado or something. But also, a gun is different than a frog. You know,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't have been under. It wouldn't have been like in the water. It would have been like maybe in like a wet piece of like a field.
Please.
So
tell
what
me.
happened?
I
Did I let it
don't
go?
know. Let it go. I think you got to just let her go.
Life's great.
Yeah.
All right.
Is there
Anyway.
anything, is there anything else you want to get in that we didn't get in here? Now's the time.
Right.
I need the part where Robard says, "This is a long way to go with no punch," and I thought that was kind of a good way of tying up the movie.
It's like Clockwork Orange has a line of dialogue that comments on itself.
Right.
Maybe. He meets the girls in the record store, and they're sucking on the phallic lollipops, and he goes, "What are those?" And he goes, "Bit cold and pointless," you know.
Yeah.
And I always thought that. I just thought it's not intentional, but it felt like if you didn't like Clockwork Orange, you could just make that your tagline. So I think you're right. That Robard's line always rang for me like, "Hey, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about
Guys,
Magnolia?"
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and of course, like it's, seeing this movie, I think there are moments, of where some of the performances that he has with these actors, they're real actors who are great in other films, and
I got your back on Tom Cruise. I feel you. That is some real shit.
Right, but he's got Philip Baker Hall. He's got some other actors. John C. Reilly's been good in other things. A lot of these actors have been good in other things.
Yes, agreed.
The only thing I'll say with the last minute, and I'm not trying to punch down because there's some things of Paul Thomas Anderson's I do like, but imagine watching this movie with a bunch of nobodies that nobody cares about and no chemistry.
I know where he's going.
And that's Licorice Pizza opening on Christmas, everybody. So
starts Friday.
Starts
Not
Friday. Yeah, I know.
So that's your homework, guys. On Christmas Day, run out and see this director's latest work. So you didn't like LP so much. I didn't see it yet.
No, it's actually, dare I say, it's actually interesting to see if you could drop off of Magnolia, and to where, like I said, there are actors. He put together a team of interesting actors for Magnolia. Like I said, people who, maybe they're like Julianne Moore, they don't know really where they are, where they're going sometimes. But with Licorice Pizza, man, it's just a bunch of nobodies who do not know how to work off of each other, have any chemistry. Maybe that's his style, man, and it carries over, but there's no one exciting to watch, okay? Sorry everybody, I did not like it. I know you all did, not you two, but the rest of the world. And starts Friday.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the one thing about Magnolia, I feel like watching a Paul W.S. Anderson film.
Yeah. Event Horizon, motherfucker.
I know.
Isn't that
well,
him?
on that note, Happy New Year, everybody. And we're going to be back in January.
We're taking a hiatus. Little hiatus.
Yeah. And we'll be back with, we were throwing around a title. Maybe we just say it now.
Yeah. We're going to come back after the holiday hiatus, everybody, with a big fucking monster of a movie that we've been talking a lot about on this channel, but we're going to really dive into it for real this time. And that is Tobe Hooper's OG Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Can't fucking wait. So
it's literally my favorite film.
Really?
And I'm not even like a big, well, it's just the technique is so fucking on fire every frame.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get into it, and also I feel I want to have a really boring discussion about auteur theory versus like a community of talented freaks who get together. And I think this is a conversation to have with the genesis of the brilliance of Texas. Great film. And like we like to do here, we'll probably get more into some like weird, deeper crevices than just like, the usual kind of spots that are hit up so much with that film. But
right. We're going to shed that horror neckbeard for this one and dive really deep into the artistry and the craft.
I'll talk about the filmmaking, like and really look at like shots and the editing, bro.
And the editor and the editing and the texture.
Fucking editing. The sound. Yeah. I mean, I can't even wait. I'm going to start doing it right now.
Yeah, I love Tobe Hoopy.
Tobe Hoopy. All right, everybody. That was one fucking hour on Magnolia. Those are words that actually came out of my mouth. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And, of course, watching last week, one fucking hour on Walkabout. And Happy holidays, everybody. And now it's
Holidays.
time for your moment of Zen. And we will see you next year. Goodbye, everybody.
Can I ask you what you thought of the script when you first read it?
I thought it was astounding. And I went to Paul and I said, it's great. It's a little long. He goes, you fucking cocksucker, I'm not gonna cut one goddamn word of this thing. Everyone says I'm only gonna cut one word. So then I talked to Julianne Moore. I said, what'd you think of the script? She says, it's amazing. It's a little long. I said, did you tell Paul that? She said, yeah. And I said, what did he say? He said, you fucking
Motherfucking goddamn orange peel beef.
Many times I sucked other men's cocks.